If you have no friends, watch this. Not just a few friends, not just one close friend. I mean none. Because if you have no friends, you've probably asked yourself questions most people never have to face. What's wrong with me? Why does everyone else seem to belong somewhere and I simply don't? Did I miss something growing up? Or was it me who pushed everybody else away without realizing? And the unspoken one, the one you don't say out loud, is having no friends bad? Is it my fault? So before anything else, I want to say this clearly. This video isn't here to convince you to make friends. It's here to help you understand yourself. Because not everyone who ends up alone is broken. Some people are alone because they stopped breaking themselves trying to belong and trying to fit in. Some people move through the world surrounded by noise, messages, plans, people, constant interaction. And they seem fine. They seem good, energized even. But others don't. They walk into a room full of people and feel their body slowly tighten. Not with fear, not with anxiety, but with fatigue. If that's you, you've probably wondered, why do social situations drain me instead of energize me? Why do I feel better after being alone, not worse? And why does everybody else seem to need people more than I do? And eventually, the harder question creeps in. Is there something wrong with me? So let me say this clearly. This isn't about loneliness. This is about design. Introversion is one of the most misunderstood traits in the world. It's not shyness. It's not social anxiety. And it's definitely not antisocial behavior. Introversion is about how your nervous system processes social stimulation. Extroverted nervous systems gain energy from external input, conversation, noise, movement, people. Their brains release reward chemicals when they're socially engaged. Introverted nervous systems are different. They already operate at a higher baseline of internal stimulation. Your mind is already super active. You're processing thoughts, patterns, emotions, details, often without realizing it. So when you add a room full of people on top of it, it's not exciting. It's almost work. That's why one person will leave a party buzzing and another leaves feeling like they need 3 days of silence. It's not a preference. It's biology. And this is where the misunderstanding starts. People assume that if being around others drains you, you must dislike people. That's simply not true. You don't dislike people. You dislike unnecessary stimulation. Because for you, social interaction isn't passive, it's active. While someone else is chatting, you're also noticing these tiny little tone shifts, facial expressions, who feels comfortable, who feels uncomfortable, what wasn't said, who's performing, who's pretending, and who's lying. Your brain is running all of these extra processes in the background, and that costs energy. So when you leave social situations feeling depleted, it's not because you're bad at people or social situations. It's because your system did more work than others in the same situation. Crowds make this worse. If you're enjoying this video, consider liking it and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Crowds are optimized for average behavior, surface level interactions, fast responses, shared norms, all with low emotional friction, falsifying etiquette to appear relevant. All of that is boring for me, and maybe for you too. If you think deeply, or feel deeply or notice these subtleties, crowds don't feel neutral at all. They feel noisy, messy, maybe even a little false. That's why small talk doesn't just feel boring, it feels painful. Not because you can't do it, but because it feels incomplete. Your mind wants meaning, depth, coherence, actual payoff, and not just in a superficial way. So, you either force yourself to play along and leave exhausted, or you pull back. You talk less, you observe more, you choose quiet. From the outside, though, this gets misread as distance or coldness. But internally, what you're actually doing is self regulation. And this is where solitude gets confused with loneliness. Loneliness is a pain caused by unmet connection needs. Solitude is relief caused by nervous system regulation. When you're alone, your body unclenches, your thoughts slow down. You don't have to perform, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to edit yourself. But that doesn't mean you don't need connection at all. It just means you need a specific type of connection: depth over volume, safety over novelty, truth over entertainment. Some people are just designed to cast a wide net. Others are designed to form deep bonds. Neither is better. But for me and you, only one is rewarding. Now let's talk about the part most videos will try and avoid. What if you don't have any friends? Because that's where the shame lives. If you have no friends, you've probably thought, I must be unlikable, maybe too quiet or too intense, too much, or put simply, not enough. For a long time, I believed that about myself. I thought having no friends meant I was defective. But here's what I slowly came to realize, and this matters. I didn't lose friends because I pushed people away. I stopped forcing closeness where I couldn't be myself. There's a difference. Some people are alone because they're afraid of connection. That's the kind of loneliness that hurts. But some people are alone because they've already learnt what it costs them to stay. They've learned what it feels like to shrink or to shrink, to have to laugh when something feels wrong, to have to stay quiet to keep the peace, to have to perform just to belong. And eventually, something inside them says, I don't want connection at that price anymore. So they choose solitude, not because they don't want people, but because they finally want themselves. People love to say, work on yourself, as if you're broken, as if self work is just a bridge back to normal social life. But sometimes self work isn't just a stepping stone. Sometimes it's the final destination. And it's a destination that I am proud of arriving to. It's learning how to be okay in your own company, how to enjoy your own thoughts, how to build a life that doesn't depend on constant validation. Not as a coping mechanism, not as a temporary phase, but as a genuinely peaceful way to live. Some people don't rebuild their social circle. They choose to rebuild their relationship with themselves. And that's not sad. That's powerful. Something else happens when you reach this place, when you actually know yourself and you're okay in your own company. The people you choose to let in after that arrive differently. You're no longer trying to be impressive or agreeable or easy to be around just to keep someone else around or keep them close. You don't need connection to fill a gap. You choose it because it feels real. And that changes everything. The friendships or relationships that come later, if they even come at all, it doesn't matter. But they're quieter, slower, and more meaningful because they're built on who you actually are, not just who you are willing to pretend to be. You can't build real connection while hiding yourself. But once you stop hiding, anything you allow in has a chance to matter in a way it never could before. So if you don't fit into crowds, if social life drains you, if you need more space than others, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not antisocial. You're not defective. You're not missing a piece. You're just designed for something deeper than noise. That's not a flaw. That's a different kind of strength. My name is John. You're welcome to be here, and you're more than welcome to stay here.